Hello friends, welcome to the WAP Digital Newsroom. This week we are taking you behind the scenes of our 9 News investigators with a brand new investigation from our lead investigator, Scotty Hunter. Now Scotty, this is a topic that we have gotten many emails and phone calls about.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have covered Republic Services for a while now. I know back in 2019, a lot of people, when I was doing this report, I talked to them and I was like, is this as bad as 2019? We kind of use that as a gauge because, in 2019, there were about 3,000 calls into the 311 service where people were just saying this is just out of control. Garbage isn't being picked up, routes are being missed, whole streets are being missed, and it was just a mess in 2019. So now some of the problems are back. It's not quite as bad as what we saw in 2019, but we did see earlier this year. So in July, there were about 900 calls that went into 311, and in June there were about a little over 1,000 calls that came into 311. So we actually went through those calls through that list and open data through the city's website just to see kind of what areas are facing the most issues. And so we actually went and talked to some folks to kind of see what their problems were.
And so those were all calls related to garbage pickup in East Baton Rouge Parish with Republic Services?
Yes, they were various things like either routes were missed, garbage wasn't picked up, whole streets were missed, the typical things that we see. Now, when we did speak with folks with the city parish, they tell us that, of course, like everything else right now, COVID is having a significant impact on the drivers and what they're able to do with Republic Services. We're told at least from 15 to about 20% of their drivers have been impacted, especially when we're emerging into this fourth surge, specifically with the Delta variant.
So you have gone through a lot of records on this one. I want you to take us through. You have a spreadsheet here talking about something, a topic that came out of this. So in addition to the problems that people found, I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself here. In addition to the problems that people reported, you found something else kind of interesting with this issue this time around.
Yeah, because the main question we were looking for this time, we were looking to answer was basically, if all of these problems are happening, why isn't there any financial consequence for the company? We had gotten the contract between Republic Services and the city parish a couple of years ago, and we looked through it. There are some liquidated damages, things that they can be assessed, if they miss routes and things like that. So we wanted to know, if you have that in place, why isn't it happening? And some customers wanted to know that as well. So we actually looked into campaign finance records, and we saw that, as it turns out, the Republic Services company had given to campaigns with Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome, the former mayoral candidate Matt Watson, just about every single council member except for 2 of them, related to East Baton Rouge Parish. So some of the customers and even one of the attorneys that I spoke with about this report kind of thought that was questionable. Obviously, if you have someone who has one of the largest contracts with the city parish who's also donating to local politicians' campaigns, it raises questions.
It does raise a lot of questions.
So if we can look at that spreadsheet for just a second, here's a list of really the thousands of dollars that have been given to those local politicians over the last couple of years. You see it starts way back in 2016. And again, this is just what we looked at from 2016 to now. So from 2016 all the way to now, as far as local politicians goes in East Baton Rouge Parish, Republic Services actually gave, you see the total here, $39,250. And again, all of that were to political campaigns. And the question that really comes up here is that these are the same people, many of them, that would have to vote on whether or not they're going to end the contract with Republic Services and how that's going to move forward. So obviously, when that contract comes up again in 2023, those council members have to vote to say, are we happy with this? Are we satisfied? Are we going to renew the contract? And it raises red flags. That one attorney we spoke with said, when you have those people that are having to make those tough decisions, also getting money.
Right. How much does that factor into that decision? It is absolutely a fair question when it comes to elected officials. So we have some sound from the attorney that you spoke with there. You want to play that now?
Yeah, we have the attorney. We also asked the chief administrative officer about this as well with the city parish. Here's what they had to say. Is it normal for people or businesses who have contracts with the city to also be contributing to campaigns?
I think if you look at the contribution list for every political candidate, you have business people all over who make contributions.
But ones that also have contracts with the city?
I think when you look across the board, you'll probably find that that's not an exception.
So you're saying this is something that's not unusual?
No, and if you look through the campaign finance laws, I mean, those things all have to be reported and documented. They're very tight regulations on how that rolls out.
If there are political contributions being made, then questions automatically arise as to whether that's influencing the actions of number one, the company itself, and number two, actions on the part of the city parish, or inaction, as the case may be.
So some very interesting perspectives there. The city saying, you know, as you heard the city chief administrator saying, you know, this is not uncommon to see. And then you have the attorney raising the same question that a lot of the people at home probably have. Yeah,
you know, this is one of those ones, you know, it may be by the books, it may be, you know, above board, but it just, you know, just the fact that it's happening at all is something that just raises questions. People want to know, you know, that their money is being sent to, you know, to a certain place, and you know, if a company is investing in these political campaigns and then, you know, in their opinion not being held accountable, you know, they want to know, you know, why not. And so we actually did speak with the Republic Services about this, because if the city is saying that, you know, obviously this doesn't matter, it's not a problem, it's not a big deal, why is it happening then? So we actually talked with Republic Services to get that answer. They did send us a statement, and that of course is waiting for you in the 9 News app.
All right, Scotty Hunter with his latest investigation into Republic Services garbage pickup around East Baton Rouge Parish, a very popular and frustrating topic in our neck of the woods. Thank you very much for joining us, and remember, you can catch the full story and all those details, including the reaction from Republic, on the 9 News app under the Investigators section.